What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. So today we're going to get right into it. In a way, this is probably, I guess you could call it a New Year's resolution, or at least a goal for 2025. But without further ado, let me just go ahead and start explaining. So for the past, I don't know, let's call it 3 or 4 years maybe, my wife and I, for one reason or another, decided to go out to Vegas. Now, keep in mind, I live in South Carolina, so that isn't exactly like the quickest trip ever. You know, it's kind of a commitment in a lot of ways. But we wanted to go out to Vegas because neither of us had ever gone, and we wanted to experience everything that everyone talks about in Vegas. And yes, it does 100% live up to the hype as far as the crazy people watching and the gambling and the clubbing and all that sort of stuff. But that's not really the reason we went there. My wife and I both are not big crazy partiers or anything like that. Wanted to go stay at a nice hotel, gamble a little bit, eat some good food, and just, once again, kind of experience something that we hadn't experienced before. But a part of that, when we started going out there, or before we planned our first trip, I realized that there was a place called, I want to say it's Speed Vegas. I get confused because it's changed names once or twice, changed locations, but at the end of the day, it's a place that you can go on track to drive exotic cars, right? Anything from a Jaguar or a GTR or a Supra, all the way up to Ferraris, Lambos, McLarens, etc. And to rattle off the three that I've done: McLaren 570, which was awesome, Lambo Huracan STO, and a Porsche GT3 RS. And if you're wondering, the GT3 RS is worth everything and more that you could ever imagine. I'm sure we've all watched videos on it, but boys and girls, when it's on a track and you have free range to do whatever the hell you want within the limits of the track, that thing is gnarly. Anywho, we went out there and I'm like, hey babe, this is something that I need to do. Like, I'm going to do this. So I did a couple laps in the McLaren and had an absolute blast. So much so that I never could quite get over the feeling of taking a car like that and putting it to its test. Now, am I going to sit there and say that I was on the brink of the, engineering that was gone into the car and all this stuff? No. Not even close. That's what professional drivers do. I'm just a fat kid from South Carolina that enjoys fast cars. However, it sure as hell made me feel like I put that car on the edge of its capabilities, and all of the cars, really. I mean, it was just such an exhilarating experience. And we go once a year now to Vegas, and every year I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait to do this. I'm like researching the cars beforehand because they always get new cars in every year. It's a blast. So anyway, that was kind of my gateway drug, so to speak. Well, then you go to the beautiful Greenville, South Carolina, where we are right now. Hit a couple downshifts. Don't mind the check engine light because super things, I guess, with the downpipe and no tune. But if you don't know, we have a BMW Performance Center here. One of two in the United States. It's here, and it is in Thermal, California. Now, one of the biggest events that you can throw basically as a company in this area, as far as I'm concerned, is take customers to the BMW Performance Center. And we've done that for the past 2 or 3 years now with the company that I work for. And of course, me being me, and loving cars and loving the idea of driving the ever-living piss out of cars, not having to worry about brake pads or tires or anything like that, I love it. It is so much fun. You get to do a lot of different things, drag racing, time attack type of stuff, and you get to compete with everyone else that's in your group, 20 or so people, and it is so cool. not only do you get to do that with one car, you get to do that pretty much from the M2s all the way up to the M8s. You even get to drive the XMs if you wish, and that's kind of a part of the package that you purchase. But anyway, what I've very quickly realized is doing that type of motorsport, let's call it, leaves me just urging for more. I mean, it's amazing. I really don't know how to explain it, but it is so much fun, and it is something I'm super interested in, to the point where I think back on some of the experiences I've had both at BMW and in Vegas. I'm like, man, if only I could have taken this corner a little better, or what if I tried to get on the brakes a little bit later and do a better job at trail braking through the corner, stuff like that. It's just intoxicating. And what's even better about that is the fact that in both of these experiences, you get to drive with professional drivers who have been in the F1 circuits, who have done, Baja type stuff, or crotch rocket racing, like everything. And they're just true professionals. And I've caught myself more often than not just talking to them, talking about their experiences, talking about what they do, or, in their opinion, what is the best way to get faster on track. And of course, a lot of that is just seat time and overall experience. But I strive to be the best that I can at these types of things. And ultimately, what I've come to decide is that is something that I really, really want to be a part of my life for the foreseeable future. Now, is this a goal that I will achieve overnight? Absolutely not. But I do know some people who would be more than willing to be a part of that with me. And of course, the biggest hurdle, as I mentioned earlier, is going to be money. But, I've got a car that I am not ready to make into a race car yet, but would be a great platform at some point in time. So we've got that going for us. I've got some people with legitimate driving experience on them. And, ultimately, if you can get a couple people to pool some money together and pool their experience together, it could make for a really, really fun hobby to do on the weekends, albeit expensive. But at the end of the day, if it's something that you enjoy, you should invest in that 100% and do it to the best of your ability. Now, I guess the point of this video is not necessarily for me to just talk to your face and hopefully like to hear me talk or anything like that. Really, this is for me. This is for me to look back on in, a year, 3, 5 years from now, and really see the progress that I've made in this passion of mine and see where I've gotten. And maybe it's far, maybe it's not, but that's the whole part of living life and, chasing your dreams. Do I ever want to be a full-on race car driver? I'm just going to go ahead and say being 6'3", 255 pounds is probably not the ideal stature for that, but nor is it my aspiration. Really, my aspiration is to be able to drive cool cars and push them to the limits that either their manufacturers intended, which is all that I've done up to this point, is drive bone stock cars, or be able to build a car in such a way that fits my driving style and fits the type of driving that I would like to do and I would like to succeed at some point in time. Now, at 27 years old, there's probably not a whole lot of opportunity for me to make this happen anytime soon, but you can't reach your dream unless you start now. There's no excuse to not start now. So why not go for it, shoot for the moon, and go from there. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big fat thumbs up. I'd be really, really curious to hear in the comments Do any of you guys, first off, have any of you done any of the Speed Vegas or BMW driving experience or Porsche driving experience in Atlanta or stuff like that? Or two, are you in racing? And if so, what are you driving? What are some of your tips for getting into it? What are some of the hurdles that you hit getting into such a hobby? And how can you maybe avoid them? Once again, I feel like I say it in every video, but I really want this to be a platform for all of us to band together as a community and build each other up. So that's just one way that in the comment section, we can make that happen. And as always, guys, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. And until next time, peace.